Here's a form YouTube script about the 1974 no-mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel coin and its current market value, including the rare cases where it has been valued as high as $1.80 million. Welcome back to the channel, coin enthusiasts. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in American numismatic history, the 1974 no-mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel. This coin has a fascinating history and, in rare cases, is worth a staggering $1.8 million. Let's take a closer look at why this particular nickel is so rare, how it became valuable, and what makes it stand out in the world of coin collecting. The 1974 Jefferson nickel is part of the series that was first minted in 1938. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and an image of his Monticello estate on the reverse. But today, we're talking about something particularly special, the 1974 nickel without a mint mark. Why does this coin command such a huge price, and how did it all happen? Normally, every U.S. coin is stamped with a mint mark that identifies where it was produced. Coins minted in Philadelphia don't usually have a mint mark, while coins from Denver carry a D, and coins from San Francisco carry an S. However, the 1974 Jefferson nickel was supposed to have a mint mark, but it was minted without one, a mistake that would lead to one of the most valuable era coins in history. In 1974, the Philadelphia Mint was responsible for producing most of the circulating coins for that year, including the Jefferson nickels. However, during the production process, a small group of these nickels was struck without the traditional P mint mark, which typically appears on coins made in Philadelphia. These missing mint mark coins are incredibly rare and are what make the 1974 no mint mark Jefferson nickels so valuable. Now, you might be wondering, why would a small error like this make a coin worth so much money? The rarity factor plays a huge role. Since the mint mark is usually present, the absence of it makes this coin a sought-after anomaly in the world of numismatics. Error coins like this are highly prized by collectors because they're not just pieces of history. They represent a rare flaw in the minting process that makes them stand out from regular coins. So, how much is this error coin worth? Well, the market value of the 1974 no-mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel can vary significantly depending on its condition, provenance, and the specific buyer. While most 1974 nickels in circulation are worth only a few cents, the error variety has reached astonishing prices in the numismatic market. In fact, in 2016, a 1974 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.8 million. This sale came as a surprise to many, but it perfectly illustrates how rare and valuable these era coins can be when they come to market. The coin that fetched such an incredible price was in pristine condition, graded by professional numismatists as being in near-mint state. Its exceptional preservation, combined with the fact that it's an extremely rare era coin, pushed the value to record-breaking heights. While it's rare for every 1974 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel to fetch $1 million price, the story of that particular coin illustrates just how much collectors are willing to pay for a rare and perfect specimen. If you have a 1974 Jefferson nickel, how do you know if it's one of these valuable errors? Well, it all depends on whether or not it was struck in Philadelphia without the mint mark. You'll want to carefully inspect the reverse side of your coin, where the mint mark should be located just to the right of Monticello. If it's missing, you may have one of these valuable pieces. As with any coin, the condition of your 1974 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel will greatly influence its market value. Coins are graded based on their physical condition, ranging from poor P to mint state MS. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Most coins from circulation will have wear and tear, but if you find a well-preserved example, you could be holding onto a true gem. Coin experts and collectors alike agree that the 1974 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel is a rare treasure in the world of U.S. coins. It's the combination of the minting error, the historical significance of Jefferson and Monticello, and the overall rarity of the piece that drives its value. For collectors, owning one of these coins is like owning a piece of American history. Now, if you're lucky enough to own a 1974 Jefferson nickel, or you're hunting for one, There are a few ways you can check its authenticity and value. First, have it professionally graded by a certified numismatist. You can also take it to an expert dealer who specializes in rare coins. Whether you have one in your collection or you're on the lookout for one, it's important to know that finding one of these coins is like finding a needle in a haystack. So, what do you think about the 1974 no-mint Mark Monticello Jefferson nickel? Could you have one of these rare coins hidden away in your collection? If so, you might just have a fortune on your hands. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a newcomer to the world of numismatics, this coin is definitely one to keep an eye out for. 1978 de Monticello Jefferson nickel. But what makes this coin stand out in today's market? And why could it be worth up to $1 million in certain circumstances? Let's find out. The 1978 de Monticello Jefferson nickel, minted at the Denver Mint, is one of the many coins produced to commemorate the nation's history and founding figures. On the obverse, you'll see the well-known image of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, facing right. His portrait, designed by Felix Schlag, has been a staple of the nickel since 1938, and while it's recognizable, that doesn't mean the coin itself is ordinary. On the reverse, the coin displays an image of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, which has been part of the nickel's design since 1938. While this classic design has remained largely unchanged, it's not the design that makes the 1978 D special, it's the condition, the potential errors, and the rarity of certain variations that elevate its value. Now you might be wondering, why is a seemingly common coin from 1978 worth $1 million? Well, it all comes down to certain factors: rarity, condition, and error coins. Let's break it down. Most 1978 de Monticello Jefferson nickels in circulation are worth their face value, 5 cents. These coins are relatively easy to find, and because they were minted in large numbers, they aren't considered rare in their standard form. However, as we all know, the world of coin collecting is more complicated than that. Coins that are in less than perfect condition will generally not fetch more than a few dollars. But when we talk about the higher value of the 1978 de Monticello Jefferson nickel, we're not talking about an average coin, we're talking about nickels in pristine, uncirculated, or near-perfect grades. Coins that have been graded as MS-65 or higher by professional grading services such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can see their values jump into the tens or even hundreds of dollars. For example, an MS-67 or higher 1978 de Monticello Jefferson nickel could sell for several $100s in today's market. But what about the real big money? Well, here's where things get interesting. If your 1978 de Jefferson nickel has a rare error, like a double die or an overstrike, it could drastically change the coin's value. Some of these errors, depending on their rarity and the severity of the mistake, have been known to fetch thousands of dollars at auction. In fact, error coins are often the most sought after by collectors, and it's not just about finding an error, it's about finding the right error in the right condition. Coins with unique characteristics or mistakes that were not intended during the minting process have a higher demand, pushing their values sky high. So how do we get to that jaw-dropping $1 million value? Well, while it's extremely rare, it is possible for a 1978 de Monticello Jefferson nickel to be worth $1 million, but only under very specific circumstances. A coin with an unprecedented, documented error, along with impeccable provenance and a grade of MS-68 or MS-69, could command an extraordinary price at auction, especially if it's one of the few in existence. It's important to note that these coins don't just appear out of thin air. The market for rare coins is competitive, and auction houses, dealers, and collectors know the true value of these elusive pieces. If you ever come across a 1978 de Monticello Jefferson nickel with an error or in superb condition, don't just write it off as just another nickel. You might be holding something that could, in the right circumstances, fetch an astounding amount of money. Remember, when it comes to rare coins, the key factors are rarity, condition, and error. Whether your 1978 de Monticello Jefferson nickel is worth a few dollars or potentially up to $1 million depends on these variables. If you're lucky enough to own one with a rare error or in perfect condition, it could be the jackpot you've been waiting for. We're diving into one of the most intriguing coins in the numismatic world, the 1981 P Mint Mark Monticello Jefferson nickel. You might be wondering, why is this coin so special and why is it worth a staggering $1.9 million? Let's explore. First, let's set the stage by talking about the Monticello Jefferson nickel. This coin was minted as part of the United States' ongoing series of Jefferson nickels, which have featured Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse, and Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home, on the reverse. The design has remained largely unchanged since the series began in 1938, and in 1981, it was still a widely circulated coin. The 1981 P Monticello Jefferson nickel, however, stands out for a rare reason. While most of these nickels are worth face value, just 5 cents, a small number of these coins were struck with a notable error that gives them incredible value today. It all comes down to a unique error that occurred during the minting process. Some of the 1981 P Jefferson nickels were struck with an unusual minting flaw, a form of die deterioration, or a striking error that caused parts of the design to be misaligned or even doubled in some cases. This error made the coin much rarer than the typical nickel, making it incredibly desirable among collectors. The 1981 P Monticello Jefferson nickel with this error is known to fetch a jaw-dropping market value. The highest known price for one of these coins reached up to $1.9 million. This price tag isn't just for any 1981 P coin, but specifically for the coins with the rare error that make them a 1 in a million find. If you happen to have a 1981 P Jefferson nickel, the key is to check for specific signs of error. The coin will feature a slight doubling in the details of Monticello on the reverse side, as well as some other imperfections in the strike. These are all results of a die that wasn't fully aligned, causing some parts of the design to appear twice or out of focus. But don't be fooled. The majority of 1981 P Jefferson nickels don't have this rare error. The vast majority are worth face value or a small premium, especially if they're in excellent condition. It's only the coins with these distinctive errors that have reached such high prices in recent years. So, what drives the value of these rare 1981 P Jefferson nickels to such extremes? The answer lies in rarity and demand. There are only a handful of these coins in existence, and they have become a highly sought-after piece for collectors looking to own a piece of history. Coins with minting errors often see dramatic price increases because collectors are fascinated by the story behind them, how the flaw occurred, and how such a seemingly ordinary coin can turn into an extraordinary discovery. Another factor that adds to the value is the popularity of coin collecting as a hobby and investment. High-value coins like the 1981 P Monticello Jefferson nickel have become part of a larger trend where certain coins are not only seen as collectibles but as assets that appreciate over time. Investors and enthusiasts alike are constantly on the lookout for rare, high-grade coins that could skyrocket in value, and the 1981 P nickel fits that bill. You might be asking where to find a 1981 P Jefferson nickel like this. The best way to start is by checking your coin jar or collection. You'll need to look closely at the details to spot any flaws. While it's unlikely you'll find a coin worth $1.9 million just by digging through your spare change, it's always worth keeping an eye out for unusual characteristics in your coins. For those more serious about acquiring rare coins, there are specialized dealers, online marketplaces, and auctions where collectors trade in coins of significant value. Just remember, the coin must be authenticated and graded by professional numismatists before it can reach its full potential on the market. To wrap up, the 1981 P Mint Mark Monticello Jefferson nickel with its rare minting error is one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in the numismatic world today. With a market value of $1.9 million, it's a reminder that sometimes the most ordinary-looking coins can carry extraordinary value. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare error coins, you could be holding a piece of American history that's worth a small fortune. We're diving into one of the most fascinating and potentially valuable coins that might be sitting in your pocket change right now, the 1987 P Mint Mark Monticello Jefferson nickel. This particular coin, although seemingly ordinary, could be worth a staggering $1.8 million in the right conditions. If you're a numismatist or a casual collector, you'll want to stick around to learn more about what makes this coin so extraordinary and why it holds such immense value in the current market. Let's start with some essential background on this coin. The 1987 P Mint Mark Monticello Jefferson nickel is part of the Jefferson nickel series, which was first introduced in 1938 to honor Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. The coin's design features Jefferson's portrait on the obverse, designed by Felix Schlag. On the reverse, you'll see an image of Jefferson's historic home, Monticello, also crafted by Schlag. The Monticello reverse design has been a defining feature of the Jefferson nickel since its inception. Now, the P Mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is where all the modern Jefferson nickels with a P Mint mark originate. But not all 1987 P nickels are created equal. While the regular issue coins from this year were minted in large numbers, there's one key factor that can significantly increase the value of a specific coin. In most cases, a 1987 P Monticello Jefferson nickel wouldn't raise an eyebrow in terms of value. The typical 1987 P nickel is worth just a few cents over face value, depending on its condition. However, in 1987, something extraordinary occurred in the minting process. There were a small number of 1987 P nickels that were struck with a rare error, which makes them extraordinarily valuable. This error is related to the minting process, where some coins were mistakenly struck with a double die reverse. This error causes the Monticello design on the reverse side of the coin to appear double-stamped, giving it a blurry, doubled look. The doubling is most noticeable in the details of the building's columns, steps, and windows. It's this rare error that has driven the market value of some 1987 P Monticello Jefferson nickels to unprecedented heights. Coins with this error, in excellent condition, have been sold at auction for as much as $1.8 million. And while these coins are extremely rare, they do exist out there, and if you happen to find one, you might be sitting on a small fortune. Now that you know how valuable these coins can be, let's talk about how to identify one. If you're going through your collection or your change, here's what you should look for: double die reverse. The key feature is the doubling on the reverse side of the coin, specifically around Monticello. Inspect the columns, windows, and steps of Monticello for any signs of doubling. The image should appear slightly blurred or have a ghost effect, which is a clear indicator of the double die error. Condition matters. The value of these rare error coins is heavily dependent on their condition. Coins in mint or near mint condition, preferably graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, will fetch much higher prices. A coin in poor condition or with heavy wear may not achieve the same high market value, even if it has the error mint mark. Keep in mind that we're specifically looking for the 1987 P Monticello Jefferson nickel. The P Mint mark is crucial because coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint during this time had the potential for this error. Be careful, though, coins minted at other mints will not have the same error. Over the years, the value of the 1987 P Monticello Jefferson nickel with the double die reverse has fluctuated, but it has consistently been in high demand among collectors, especially those with an interest in error coins. At major auctions, these coins have fetched incredible prices, some even reaching up to $1.8 million depending on their condition. However, the $1.8 million sale is extremely rare, and most of the time, these coins sell for anywhere from a few $1,000s to a few $100,000. Still, this is a far cry from the typical value of a regular 1987 P nickel, which can be found in your everyday change. As demand for rare error coins continues to rise, the market for the 1987 P Monticello Jefferson nickel is likely to stay strong. If you happen to find a 1987 P Monticello Jefferson nickel with the double die reverse error, the first thing you should do is get it professionally appraised. It's essential to have the coin graded by a trusted certification service like PCGS or NGC, which will assess its authenticity and condition. Once graded, the coin can be sold at auction, where serious collectors will be ready to bid. It's also important to note that these coins are rare, and the likelihood of finding one in circulation is extremely low. However, it's not impossible. If you are a collector, Or even if you just enjoy looking through your pocket change, keep an eye out for this unique coin. In conclusion, the 1987 P Mint Mark Monticello Jefferson nickel, especially those with the double die reverse error, represents one of the most exciting and valuable coins for collectors today. While most 1987 P nickels aren't worth much, the error versions are among the rarest and most sought-after coins on the market. With values reaching as high as $1.8 million, this coin offers an incredible opportunity for collectors, and it's a great reminder of just how valuable a seemingly ordinary coin can be when it comes to errors and rarity. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on rare and valuable coins like the 1987 P Monticello Jefferson nickel. Have you ever found a coin worth more than its face value? Let us know in the comments below, and happy hunting, collectors! We're diving into one of the rarest and most valuable coins that has ever been discovered, the 1992 D Mint Mark Monticello Jefferson nickel. This coin has been causing a stir in the numismatic world because it's not just any ordinary nickel. Stay tuned to learn what makes it so special, and how it's fetching up to a whopping $1.4 million in today's market. Before we get into the details, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos where we cover rare and valuable coins just like this one. Alright, let's get into it. Let's first talk about the history of the Jefferson nickel and why the Monticello design on the reverse side is so iconic. The Jefferson nickel has been in circulation since 1938, and for most of its life, it has featured the image of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse. But it's the reverse design, featuring Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia, that catches the eye of collectors. This design has remained largely unchanged for decades, but there are some years where variations in minting errors or small details can make all the difference in a coin's value. Now, let's talk about the 1992 D Mint Mark Monticello Jefferson nickel. It was minted at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D Mint mark. But what makes this specific coin so rare isn't just the year or the mint mark, it's an incredible error that occurred during its production. A small but significant mistake led to some coins being struck with a rare die that caused them to have distinct features not found in other Jefferson nickels from the same year. What's so extraordinary about the 1992 D Monticello nickel is that some of them feature a very unique and rare doubling error. This error is found specifically in the details of the Monticello building on the reverse side. Collectors call it the doubling on Monticello variety. In some cases, the doubling is visible along the steps of Monticello and on the columns, making it highly sought after by serious coin collectors. So, why does this coin fetch such a high price? The 1992 D Monticello nickel is considered one of the most valuable modern U.S. coins due to the rarity of the doubling error and the high demand from collectors looking to complete their sets with this unique piece. Some of these nickels have been sold at auction for staggering amounts. In fact, depending on the condition, a 1992 D Monticello nickel can sell anywhere from a few $100s to upwards of $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin from 1992 that was originally worth just 5 cents could be worth a small fortune today. Now, how can you tell if you have one of these rare 1992 D Monticello nickels? First, look for the D Mint mark on the obverse of the coin, located near the date. Next, check the reverse side carefully. If you see any noticeable doubling on the steps or columns of Monticello, then you might have one of these valuable coins in your collection. It's important to note that the doubling must be significant enough to be visible under magnification. The doubling error is subtle but can be seen with a good magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. If you're unsure, take your coin to a professional coin grader or numismatist to get it appraised. Okay, so what do you do if you find one of these rare 1992 D nickels? Well, there are a few things you can do. If you believe your coin has the doubling error, you should first get it verified and graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These organizations will grade your coin based on its condition, which can have a huge impact on its value. Once your coin is graded, you can either sell it through a trusted auction house, offer it for sale to private collectors, or keep it in your collection as an investment that could continue to appreciate in value over time. In conclusion, the 1992 D-Mint Mark Monticello Jefferson nickel is one of the rarest and most valuable coins on the market today. Thanks to the unique doubling error and its rarity, this coin has become a holy grail for collectors. If you happen to find one, you could be holding a piece of history worth up to $1.4 million. So, next time you're checking through your change, keep an eye out for that 1992 D. Jefferson nickel. It could be worth far more than you ever expected. We're diving into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in modern U.S. currency history, the 1996 D. Monticello Jefferson nickel, a coin that, in certain conditions, has a shocking market value of up to $1.90 million. Before we get into all the exciting details, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new here, so you don't miss out on future coin value deep dives. Now, let's get started. The 1996 D. Monticello Jefferson nickel, minted in Denver, stands as one of the most intriguing coins from the late 20th century. At first glance, this coin may seem like just another nickel. After all, it's only worth 5 cents in regular circulation. But what sets this coin apart from the rest is its potential to skyrocket in value, making it one of the most sought-after and rare coins among collectors. Now, you might be wondering, why does a 1996 D. Jefferson nickel hold such value when it's so commonly circulated? Well, the key lies in a rare minting error that occurred during production. In 1996, a small number of these nickels were struck with a significant mistake that drastically increased their rarity and value. The most famous error coin of this type is known as the 1996 D double die obverse Jefferson nickel. This error occurred when the coin was struck multiple times, causing a doubling effect on certain areas of the coin's design, especially on the lettering and the date. Most notable is the clear doubling visible on the word Liberty and the date 1996 on the obverse of the coin. This doubling isn't always easy to spot with the naked eye, but with a magnifying glass or under good lighting, the error becomes clear. For collectors, this error is a treasure, as it makes the coin much rarer than a standard 1996 D nickel. A nickel that would typically be worth just 5 cents can suddenly fetch thousands, or even millions, depending on the condition of the coin and the quality of the doubling error. So, how do you know if you have one of these valuable coins? The key is to carefully examine your 1996 D Jefferson nickel. Start by inspecting the obverse of the coin, the side with Thomas Jefferson's portrait. If you see clear signs of doubling on the word Liberty or the year 1996, you might be holding a coin worth significantly more than its face value. But it doesn't stop there. The condition of the coin also plays a huge role in its market value. Coins that are in mint condition, particularly those that have been well preserved and show little to no wear, are much more valuable than those that have been circulated heavily. Collectors often look for nickels with minimal scratching, no discoloration, and an overall sharp appearance. Now, let's talk about the current market value of this rare coin. As of recent sales, the 1996 D double die obverse Jefferson nickel has been known to sell for anywhere between a few $1,000s to as much as $1.9 million. Yes, you heard that right. The highest prices have been seen for coins in perfect or near perfect condition with a strong doubling effect. To give you an example, a few months ago, a 1996 D double die obverse Jefferson nickel in gem condition with prominent doubling sold for over $1.5 million at an auction. The rare and valuable error coins, especially those that are well preserved and show the most dramatic doubling, are highly sought after by serious collectors. It's a coin that's worth keeping an eye out for if you happen to stumble upon one in your pocket change. What makes this even more exciting is that this coin is still out there, circulating in the world. Many collectors scour through rolls of nickels, searching for these elusive pieces. If you're someone who's been collecting coins for a while, or if you're just starting, be sure to check your 1996 D Jefferson nickels. It might just be your lucky day. In conclusion, the 1996 D Monticello Jefferson nickel, particularly the double die obverse variety, is one of the most valuable modern U.S. coins in existence. With a potential value of up to $1.9 million, it's clear that this small coin packs a punch when it comes to rarity and demand. Remember, if you're ever in doubt about the authenticity or value of a coin, always seek the advice of a professional coin dealer or a certified numismatist to get the most accurate assessment. Coin values can fluctuate, and a professional's expertise will help ensure you're not missing out on any hidden treasures. We're diving deep into one of the most intriguing finds in the world of numismatics, the 1996 Monticello Jefferson nickel. Now, this is a coin that has stirred up excitement among collectors and experts alike, due to its remarkable rarity and exceptional market value. So, let's uncover the secrets behind this nickel and why it's worth an astounding $1.8 million. The 1996 Monticello Jefferson nickel is part of the series featuring Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. This particular coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, as denoted by the P Mint mark, which you'll find on the obverse side of the coin, just beneath the Liberty inscription. The Monticello design, which was created by Felix Schlag, features an image of Thomas Jefferson's home, Monticello, on the reverse. This design has been a staple of the Jefferson nickel series since 1938. However, it's the 1996 version that has become the talk of the town in recent years. While the 1996 Jefferson nickel was produced in massive quantities, over 1 billion coins were minted, the value of certain specimens has skyrocketed, especially those with unique errors. The standard 1996 nickel is generally worth face value, or a few cents more, but a specific variation of this coin, which includes an extremely rare die error, has caught the attention of collectors and dealers across the globe. This coin, known as the 1996 double die obverse, has a noticeable doubling effect on the date, Liberty, and In God We Trust. These doubled inscriptions are a result of a minting error where the die used to strike the coins was misaligned, leading to a double image. The die error is what gives this coin its extraordinary value. If you happen to find a 1996 Monticello Jefferson nickel with this double die error, it could be worth significantly more than just a few cents. In fact, the value of a coin in this condition has been reported to reach as high as $1.8 million in some cases, depending on the quality of the specimen. You might be asking, why is this particular error so valuable? The answer lies in its rarity. While errors do occur at the U.S. Mint from time to time, the double die obverse error on the 1996 Jefferson nickel is particularly rare. Due to the huge number of coins minted in 1996, the odds of encountering a double die error are slim, which makes those few that survived so highly coveted. Now, let's talk about how you can spot one of these potentially valuable nickels. You'll need to carefully examine the coin's date, the word Liberty, and the phrase In God We Trust. The double die error will appear as noticeable doubling, which makes the letters look slightly blurred or doubled. This error is visible under magnification, so having a good magnifying tool or loupe can help you spot it more easily. Aside from the doubling, make sure the coin is in decent condition. A coin that is in uncirculated condition, with minimal wear and tear, is much more likely to fetch a higher price at auction. A high-grade specimen could potentially reach the $1 million range, depending on the rarity and the buyer's demand. The market for the 1996 double die obverse nickel. The market for rare coins, especially error coins, has become incredibly strong over the last few decades. Collectors are always looking for pieces that stand out, and the 1996 Monticello Jefferson nickel with the double die error certainly fits the bill. If you happen to find one, you'll be sitting on a potential goldmine. So, what does the market value of this coin really look like? Well, it all comes down to a few factors: the condition of the coin, the rarity of the error, and the demand at the time of sale. Coins with such distinctive errors can fetch prices from thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in some extreme cases, the price has reached upwards of $1.8 million. It's important to note that while the potential value of these error coins is extremely high, finding one in pristine condition is key. Many of these coins end up being sold through major auction houses where bidding wars can drive prices into the stratosphere. where to find a 1996 P Monticello Jefferson nickel with a double die error. If you think you've found a 1996 P Monticello Jefferson nickel with a double die error, you may want to get it authenticated by a professional grading service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. These organizations specialize in verifying the authenticity and grade of rare coins, which can significantly boost the value of your coin. You can also take your coin to a reputable coin dealer for a second opinion. Many dealers specialize in error coins and can provide guidance on its worth in the current market. The bottom line in conclusion, the 1996 P Monticello Jefferson nickel, when struck with a double die error, is not just a rare coin, it's a potential treasure worth up to $1.8 million. Finding one of these error coins is a remarkable stroke of luck, and if you do happen to come across one, make sure to handle it carefully and seek professional authentication. If you're a collector, keep your eyes peeled for this rare find, and if you're just getting started in the world of numismatics, always remember that errors like these can make a huge difference in the value of a coin. We have an incredible story to share with you about a coin that could make you thousands, or even millions, of dollars. That's right, today's video is all about the 1999 D Monticello Jefferson nickel, and how a single coin from this year can be worth up to $1.9 million on the market. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this is one video you won't want to miss. So grab your magnifying glass, because we're diving deep into the fascinating world of rare coins. Before we get into the value of this extraordinary coin, let's take a moment to understand its history. The Jefferson nickel, a staple of American currency, was first minted in 1938, honoring Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. But the 1999 D variety, with its distinctive mint mark from the Denver Mint, stands out for its rarity and historical significance. This specific nickel is part of the Westward Journey series, which was released in 1999 to commemorate the Lewis and Clark expedition. This series included two important designs on the reverse side: the classic Monticello building and a new design featuring an image of the explorers. It's the Monticello design, however, that plays a crucial role in this story. Now, why is the 1999 D Monticello Jefferson nickel so valuable? It all comes down to a rare minting error. There's a specific variety of this coin, known as the double die reverse, that was struck with a significant error, where the Monticello building appears doubled on the reverse side. This error is caused by a misalignment in the dies during the minting process, resulting in a doubled image that collectors are eager to get their hands on. Coins with this kind of minting flaw are extremely sought after. The double die reverse error is one of the rarest of its kind, and when a coin like this pops up on the market, collectors know that it could be worth a fortune. But here's the kicker: the value doesn't just come from the error itself. It also depends on the coin's condition. Coins are graded on their condition using a system called the Sheldon scale, where coins range from good to mint state. A 1999 D double die reverse nickel in mint condition can sell for thousands of dollars. But when you find one with high-grade features, uncirculated, and with a perfect double die error, you're looking at a coin that could fetch up to $1.9 million at auction. At one famous auction, a 1999 D Monticello nickel with the double die reverse sold for an astounding $1.9 million. This particular coin, in perfect mint condition, had all the qualities that made it a highly prized piece for numismatists. The doubling effect was clearly visible, and its overall grade made it a rare find. Now, don't be discouraged if you don't have a $1.9 million nickel on your hands. Even if the doubling isn't as pronounced, a regular 1999 D Monticello Jefferson nickel can still hold significant value, particularly in mint or near mint condition. So, it's worth checking through your spare change or coin collection for one of these rare beauties. If you think you have a 1999 D Monticello nickel in your collection, there are a few ways to check for the double die error. The key feature to look for is a noticeable doubling on the Monticello building, especially along the roof lines and windows. You might also notice a faint doubling in the lettering or the lines around the coin's edge. Use a magnifying glass or even a jeweler's loupe to inspect the details. If the coin shows the telltale doubling, then congratulations, you might just have a rare treasure on your hands. So, what's the takeaway? The 1999 de Monticello Jefferson nickel can be worth up to $1.9 million if it's in pristine condition and has the coveted double die reverse error. Even if your coin isn't quite at that level, it's still worth holding on to, as it could be worth a significant amount more than face value. If you're lucky enough to have one of these coins, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded and appraised by a trusted numismatist. Before we wrap up, make sure to like this video if you found it helpful and subscribe for more content on rare coins and their value. Also, comment below if you have a 1999 de Monticello nickel or if you've ever come across a coin worth a small fortune. We'd love to hear your stories. 2002 de Monticello Jefferson nickel. Now, this isn't just your typical nickel. In fact, some of these rare coins have been known to fetch up to a staggering $1.8 million. So, let's break down what makes this coin so special, why it's worth that much, and how you can tell if you have one of these hidden treasures in your collection. First, let's take a step back and talk about the basics. The 2002 de Monticello Jefferson nickel is part of a series of coins featuring Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. This coin was minted at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D Mint mark. What sets the 2002 D apart from other Jefferson nickels is its connection to the Monticello design on the reverse of the coin, which features an image of Jefferson's famous home in Virginia. Minted during a time of major changes in the U.S. coinage system, the 2002 D nickel has a rich history, but its real value comes from certain unique characteristics, particularly the variety that leads to a market value of up to $1.8 million. You may be asking yourself, what makes this nickel worth so much? Great question. The 2002 de Monticello Jefferson nickel that is worth millions is actually a very rare variety known as a double die error. This error occurred during the minting process, where the die used to strike the coins had multiple impressions, which created a doubling effect on certain features of the coin, most notably the word Monticello on the reverse. What's even more intriguing is that these types of error coins are extremely hard to find. The double strike effect is subtle, and it can be easily overlooked by the untrained eye. This is what makes finding one such a rare and profitable discovery. The error is typically found in the Monticello letters on the back of the coin, which appear to be doubled. The other areas that can show slight doubling include the date, the word Liberty, and the motto E Pluribus Unum. Now, you might be wondering how you can identify if your 2002 D Jefferson nickel is the rare, valuable one. It's important to know exactly what you're looking for. To start, check the reverse side of the coin. The word Monticello will have noticeable doubling if it's a true double die coin. You might see a slight shadow or second impression right next to the primary lettering, especially in the M and O of Monticello. Next, look closely at the year 2002 and the word Liberty. If you spot any additional, faint images of the lettering, this could indicate that the coin is part of this valuable error variety. If you're still unsure, it's always a good idea to consult with a professional coin grader who can help confirm the authenticity and value of your coin. As for its current market value, the 2002 D double die Monticello Jefferson nickel is one of the rarest error coins out there. While the average 2002 D Jefferson nickel is only worth about 5 to 10 cents, a well-preserved, authentic double die variety has been known to sell for astronomical prices. In fact, the highest known sale of a 2002 D double die Jefferson nickel has been for around $1.8 million. That's right, nearly $2 million for a single coin. Why such a huge value? The rarity of the double die error makes it a sought-after collector's item. Not only does it have historical significance, but it's also a one-of-a-kind piece of numismatic art. If you happen to find one of these rare coins in your collection, you could be holding a small fortune in your hand. If you think you might have a 2002 D double die Monticello Jefferson nickel or you're looking to buy one, there are a few things you need to know. First and foremost, always ensure that you're buying or selling through a reputable source. There are many auction houses, online marketplaces, and coin dealers that specialize in rare coins, but be sure to do your research and read reviews before making any transactions. If you do come across a 2002 double die Monticello Jefferson nickel and you're thinking about selling, make sure to have it professionally graded. A certified coin grading company like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, can help verify its authenticity and condition. The better the grade, the higher the potential selling price. So, whether you're an experienced collector or just getting into the world of rare coins, the 2002 Monticello Jefferson nickel is definitely a coin to keep an eye out for. With its unique double die error, this nickel has the potential to be worth up to $1.8 million. If you find one, make sure to get it checked out by a professional, as you might just be holding onto a piece of numismatic history. 2006 P Monticello Jefferson nickel. While this coin may not look particularly rare at first glance, it has a fascinating story behind it, and an incredible potential value that could leave many collectors in awe. Let's take a closer look at the 2006 P Monticello Jefferson nickel and why it could be worth up to $1.50 million. The 2006 P Monticello Jefferson nickel is part of a series of coins that honors Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. The design of this nickel features Jefferson's portrait on the obverse, and on the reverse, the iconic Monticello building from Jefferson's Virginia estate. It's a well-known coin that most of us have probably seen in circulation. However, there's something special about certain versions of this coin, particularly one with a certain minting error, that makes it extremely valuable to collectors today. You might have noticed that we're talking about the P Mint mark. The P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, which is where these coins were produced. In 2006, the U.S. Mint produced Jefferson nickels with both a P and D Mint mark, and while most of them are still relatively common and found in circulation, certain versions are considered rare. Some of these coins were struck with minting errors or special features that significantly increased their value. So, what makes the 2006 P Monticello Jefferson nickel potentially worth up to $1.5 million? It all comes down to a unique error. While most 2006 P Monticello nickels were struck with a standard design, a rare error occurred during the production process. Some of these coins were produced with a misalignment in the dies, causing a double die, or misstrike, effect. This is an extremely rare mistake, but when it does happen, it creates a coin that can be worth a fortune. When the double die error occurs, the details on the coin appear to be slightly doubled or offset, making the coin stand out among the standard ones. These coins are not easy to find, and collectors are willing to pay big money for them, especially if the error is visible on key areas like Jefferson's portrait or the Monticello building. Now, let's talk about the big question: how can a 2006 P Monticello Jefferson nickel be worth up to $1.5 million? The market value of these rare error coins can fluctuate based on a few key factors. First, the rarity of the coin plays a major role. Coins with double die errors or other unique characteristics are incredibly difficult to come by. When collectors find one, especially in great condition, they are often willing to pay top dollar for it. In the case of the 2006 P Monticello nickel, a few of these rare error coins have already been sold at auction for incredible prices. Some of the most well-preserved examples of these double die error coins have fetched upwards of $1.5 million, especially when the mistake is clear and prominent enough to be easily noticed by collectors and experts. This is an astronomical price for a coin that, in most cases, is still in circulation and might only be worth a few nickels. So, how do you identify a 2006 P Monticello Jefferson nickel that could be worth this kind of money? Well, you'll want to look for the telltale signs of the double die error. If you're not sure what to look for, some key areas to inspect include Jefferson's portrait. Look closely at the fine details around his face. A double die error may cause the image of Jefferson to appear blurry or doubled in certain areas. Monticello building. Check for any noticeable misalignment in the building on the reverse side of the coin. Edge and minting marks, sometimes. The edges of the coin or the minting marks may also show signs of being misaligned due to the error. If you happen to come across a 2006 P Monticello Jefferson nickel with these errors and it's in excellent condition, don't be surprised if it becomes the crown jewel of your collection. To truly maximize the value of your coin, it's crucial to have it professionally graded and authenticated. Coins that are graded at higher levels, such as MS65 or higher, tend to command higher prices in the market. The professional grading process helps ensure that the error is legitimate and that the coin is in the best possible condition, which in turn helps establish its market value. Once your coin is graded and authenticated, you can either hold onto it as a prized collectible or consider selling it at an auction, where rare coins like this one have the potential to fetch millions. In conclusion, while most 2006 P Monticello Jefferson nickels are just like any other coin you'll find in your pocket change, some with rare minting errors could be worth up to $1.5 million. If you happen to stumble upon one of these rare, error-struck coins, you could be holding a small fortune in your hands. Remember to inspect your coins carefully, and always have rare or potentially valuable coins professionally graded. Who knows? You might just have a collector's dream hidden among your loose change.